My wife gave birth to a black baby. We're both white. A month ago, my wife gave birth to a black baby girl, but we're both white. She was forced to admit that the child was a result of a one-night stand last year. I've started divorce proceedings, although we're still living together for now because of the kids. My family are all fixated on the race of the baby, but naturally I have no ill will towards her. They ignore the fact that my wife cheated, but that she cheated with a black man and that the baby is black. What really worries me is that my two sons might pick up on these narratives, but they're too young to really understand what's happening now. I fear that as they grow they might start to resent their half-sister for breaking up their parents' marriage. What's worse is that their resentment might express itself in a racist fashion, under the influence of their relatives' racist narratives. It doesn't help that we live in a suburb with very few black people and their half-sister is the only black person my children know. If I can at all avoid it, I don't want to leave my kids alone with any of my racist family. I'll need to be there to tell them to stop talking about my kid's sister like that. I've taken to asking my wife to let me be recognized as the adoptive father of her daughter. She's agreed and we plan on split custody because the biological father isn't in the picture. My wife only knows his first name and is unable to find or contact him. Thing is, I'm not sure whether she can be considered legally of sound mind to consent to this. She's suffering from postpartum depression and the backlash against her from family and friends has really done a number on her. I worry that if she agrees to this now but changes her mind later, it could be reversed due to her current mental state. My wife gave birth to a black baby. We're both white. I need to lead by example and not exclude their half-sister because of her paternity. I want them to see her as a full member of the family. I also need to be more active in confronting the bigoted and ignorant nonsense I've been hearing, and teach my sons to do the same to protect their sister. I've spoken to some of those responsible since and stated that she is to be treated as a member of the family. If I ever find out that they've said things like that to my sons or their sister, they won't be allowed around us anymore. I've spoken to my wife and she's been begging for my forgiveness. She doesn't want to go through with the divorce, but that's not going to happen. Even if I didn't consider the cheating unforgivable, I just don't feel any love for her any more than a platonic affection for her as the mother of my children. My sons are handling this as well as can be expected, but they've noticed how withdrawn his mother has become. They're both fascinated with their new little sister, so there's that silver lining. However, my wife isn't in good shape at all. She was depressed even before the birth, and now with her infidelity being revealed along with the backlash from everybody and their mom, she's barely functional. She's seeing a therapist, and I've been pressuring some of our family and friends to be supportive of her because even if they think she deserves it, her current state is making it harder for me and our children. I know that even after the divorce is finalized we're going to have to live together for a lot longer. She's in no shape to be taking care of 3 kids, but I'm not willing to deprive her of her sons by seeking sole custody. As for the baby girl, I've bonded with her since I've been helping to care for her. I've discussed the possibility of adopting her with my wife, and given our co-parenting situation, it feels like adopting her as my daughter would be the best outcome for all involved. However, it was brought to my attention that there may be a way of finding the baby's father, namely by having her DNA tested by Ancestry DNA. If the father has also taken the test, we may be able to find him through their DNA match on the database. Honestly, I'm not happy about this as I've already started to think of the baby girl as my daughter. I worry that if she finds her biological father, she would choose to have a relationship with him over me. I don't want her to grow up to resent me because I'm not her biological parent, so we've ordered the Ancestry DNA kit for her.